Let's move on to the markets very quickly before we get on to the rest of the show. The NSE All Share Index was up about 0.3% yesterday, but currently it's down about 0.25% to 37,045 points. The market has obviously been trending lower until yesterday, and today we're beginning to see a bit of an yesterday, of course, we saw a bit of an uptick, but right now it seems like the market is beginning to fall back a little bit more. If we talk through yesterday's performance before we cross to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where we'll be speaking to David Andorin, the major gainers included Prestige Assurance, which was up 10%. So the insurance sector in focus for some investors. Fitzin Health is another company that did well, up 8%. And Unilever Nigeria, up 8%. A lot of people saying that there might be an opportunity in that stock. Let's now try and cross to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where David Andorin, General Manager at Lambeck Trust and Investment, is standing by to give us some perspective. David, are you there?
Thank you very much, Wole. I'm here. I'm sure you can connect with me perfectly.
All right, David, I think we're having a bit of a challenge with the audio. Yeah. Hopefully we can fix that in a little bit. Okay, let's try again. David, can you hear me now?
Yes, Wole, I can hear you perfectly. I hope you are able to hear me also.
Right. Okay, so your thoughts on the market? The market is falling back a little bit after the gains we saw yesterday. Your thoughts on where this market is right now? I get the sense that the market is about to trade sideways after the huge decline we saw last week.
Yes, indeed. The decline was very severe last week. If you recollect, at a point in time, the all-share index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange actually hit about 40,000 points. And thereafter, it started decelerating. At a point, it threatened to even go below 36,000 points. But good enough, the market makers intervened powerfully, and that restabilized the market to the point that yesterday, the market actually recovered with the all-share index appreciating by about 0.3 points. But however, the market has started very slowly today. The all-share index actually has been a little bit weak, declining by about 0.3%, almost what it recovered yesterday. But trading is still very early. We still have a long way to go for today.
Can we talk briefly about Unilever? Like I mentioned, some people think it's a good idea. Others are saying this stock is way overvalued. What's your take on that consumer goods company?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of analysts who have analyzed that security believe that it is overheated at this point in time. But it's not the only stock in that sector that appears to have contributed materially to the overheating of the market. Nestle is also there, UACN, Dangote Cement, and a host of others, especially those stocks that belong to the foreign multinationals. They all appear to have very high first quarter PE ratios right now, indicating that perhaps they are all still overheated.
Right, David, you used the word overheated. Are you telling me that you think this market is overbought right now?
Yeah, well, just in some sectors, because we still have several other sectors that have intrinsic values that are still trading, below their optimal values. Like the banking sector, still have stocks in that sector still have low PE ratios compared to the benchmark we have seen in the past. So one can actually isolate conglomerate area to note that some stocks there still remain overheated, notwithstanding the massive correction which we saw last week.
All right, David, let's move on to Dangote Cement. We've been talking about it quite a bit over the last few days, and your thoughts on that stock? Some people say it's overpriced, some people say it's one company you have to have in your portfolio. The price is fairly valued. How do you assess that company?
Yes, if you analyze Dangote cement from several perspectives, you will probably come to the belief that the security, although overheated now, still has some potentials moving into the future. But if you look at the net asset value of Dangote cement, you will discover that is probably rubbing shoulders with First Bank of Nigeria, albeit that the number of outstanding shares for Dangote Cement is way below that for First Bank of Nigeria. So, to that extent, in terms of size and in terms of earnings, there is justification for the price at which that stock is trading now. Again, if you look at the future of Dangote Cement, considering the fact that is almost controlling the cement sector, not only in Nigeria but possibly on the African continent, then one may say that the valuation appears to be fair, looking far into the future. But right now, analysts also think that it's one of those stocks that are overheated in the equities market.
Okay, what about the agri sector? David, your take on that and the opportunities we have there. Of course, the companies that many people will be looking to there are Okomo Oil and Presco, so your take on those stocks?
Yes, the agri sector still remains an important sector in the economy of the country, and everything is being done to exploit the potentials in that sector. And so when we have two major multinational companies, Okomo Oil and Presco, being deeply rooted in that sector, it therefore means that if they leverage on their technology and their organizational capabilities, the opportunities available would remain to be exploited. And so, to the best of my knowledge, Presco and Okomo Oil still have values that are yet to be exploited moving forward. So their valuations remain okay, and the valuations can actually leave room for higher valuation